Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Inside the Realm of Easy Publish. In this edition, we're going to tackle a very common question that we get during training and consulting, and that is, what's the best version of Easy Publish to use with our project? This can be a really difficult question to answer. There's more than 10 years of development and multiple versions of the legacy kernel, and 3 or 4 years of development in the new Symfony 2 kernel, with a few versions of that available also. All of these different versions can make selection difficult. So what we've done is narrowed down the selection process by using a few key questions. Some of those questions include, are you planning to use the enterprise support, or are you planning to use a community project version? Are you planning to start a fresh project, a brand new project, or are you upgrading an existing legacy project? If you're planning on upgrading an existing project, do you plan to stay with the legacy stack, or are you planning to migrate to the new kernel based on Symfony 2? This is probably a good time to explain what we mean by legacy kernel and new kernel for those that are not familiar with the terminology. All of the versions of Easy Publish prior to July of 2012 were based on a kernel that supported the version 4 releases of Easy Publish. When Easy Systems began to restructure the underlying code and they released the 5 versions of Easy Publish, they renamed the older kernel to Legacy. The 5 versions of Easy Publish are referred to as dual core because they have the capability to run both the older system and the newer system that's currently under development. So when you say you're going to use legacy stack or kernel, this means that you're going to use the proprietary templates that end with .tpl, configuration files that have the extension .ini, and for a PHP stack you'll be using Easy Components or Zeta Components. When we talk about the new stack or kernel, this means you're going to use the templates that are Twig based. These templates have .twig.html as an extension. You're also going to use YAML configuration files, and these have .yml as an extension. And this uses the PHP Symfony 2 framework for support. Now that we have distinguished the differences here, we can make a better decision about what version to use. Over the last few years, Easy Publish has made it a practice to release major enterprise editions of their software in May and November of each year. This makes it simpler for us to identify community project versions that coincide with these releases. The last release of the pure legacy version of Easy Publish occurred in May of 2012. This was the Enterprise Edition 4.7, and the last pure legacy version of the community project was 2012.6. The last release of the dual kernel Enterprise Edition of Easy Publish was in November of 2014, or version 5.4, while the last release of the community project of the same structure was version 2014.11. A final step in consideration of versions is the system requirements of each version. If you're considering upgrading an existing system, or you've developed custom extensions that you plan to use, it would be wise to make sure that the version choice you make has the same system requirements that your current project or customizations are based on. Between versions 5.3 and 5.4 of the Enterprise Edition, or 2014.07 and 2014.11 of the Community Project, there was a PHP version change. This version change was from PHP 5.33 to version PHP 5.4.4. So you really need to be careful when considering a version for upgrading that might be incompatible with code or systems that you currently have in place. With these insights into the system requirements for each version of Easy Publish, it's clear to see that for nearly 2 years between the versions 2012.5 Community Project, or 4.7 Enterprise Edition, and 2014.07 Community Project, or 5.3 Enterprise Edition, there was little change in the platform. This should be a large factor in any upgrade project, or project using custom code developed during this period of time. Now we finally get around to answering the question, what are our recommendations? So based on the factors that we presented here, if you have a new project that you want to build out on the new kernel, we recommend Enterprise Edition 5.4 or 2014.11 Community Project. If you're working on a new project, but will develop it on the legacy stack, use 5.3 Enterprise Edition or 2014.07 Community Project. And if you're upgrading an existing project, we'll be using custom code developed on the legacy stack. Again, we recommend the 5.3 Enterprise Edition or 2014.07 Community Project. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Inside the Realm of Easy Publish. You can find links and resources below this video.